No! Shame! Shame! Oh my fucking God! What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck did you do?
3 videos taken at the scene show a maroon SUV perpendicular on a snowy street. As you can see, a silver SUV driving up the street stops. 2 masked officers wearing badges that say police and body armor get out of the vehicle and walk toward the maroon car. After getting contradictory commands from the agents where one tells her to get out of the car and the other attempts to open her door, the driver of the maroon car backs up the vehicle and straightens the wheel as if to make a 3-point turn. Then she starts to slowly accelerate along the street. A third officer, who has been standing on the side of the road, pulls out a gun as the car is turning away. He shoots 3 times. The maroon car does not hit anyone as it rolls up the street. It hits another vehicle and then a utility pole, and the shooter walks away.
What began as a routine amendment discussion on Capitol Hill quickly exploded into a fierce confrontation over truth, accountability, and the use of deadly force by federal agents. In a moment that left the hearing room visibly tense, Republican Representative Knott directly rebuked Democratic Representative Pramila Jayapal, calling her response to the ICE killing of Renee Nicole Good unbelievably irresponsible right to her face. Before we break this down, take a moment to subscribe to the channel. These hearings are complex, fast-moving, and deeply consequential, and subscribing ensures you do not miss critical context as these stories continue to unfold.
To explain the amendment.
Yeah, this amendment simply adds the year to the short title of the bill. It's not intended to make any changes or alter the fundamental purpose of the bill. I urge its adoption. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Who seeks recognition?
Mr. Chairman.
Gentlelady from Washington is recognized.
Mr. Chairman, I move to strike the last word.
Gentlelady is recognized.
Mr. Chairman, what happened yesterday in Minneapolis should terrify every single one of us. An ICE agent fired 3 shots, killing a 37-year-old unarmed U.S. citizen, Renee Nicole Good, as she was driving away from ICE agents on a residential street in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Her death leaves a 6-year-old boy without any parents. And we on this committee should be immediately investigating this. We should bring Kristi Noem to us. We should have that conversation. But instead of conducting an investigation and doing the work to hold this rogue ICE agent accountable for killing a U.S. citizen, Kristi Noem has gone on a full-fledged lying spree, spreading lies that any person who watches this video can see are lies. She even had to get the President of the United States to go on social media and continue the lies. The problem, Mr. Chairman, is that there are videos. There are videos that everyone can watch that completely destroy these lies that Noem and Trump are spreading. So let's play one of those videos right now.
No! Shame! Shame! Oh my fucking God! What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck did you do?
3 videos taken at the scene show a maroon SUV perpendicular on a snowy street. As you can see, a silver SUV driving up the street stops. 2 masked officers wearing badges that say police and body armor get out of the vehicle and walk toward the maroon car. After getting contradictory commands from the agents where one tells her to get out of the car and the other attempts to open her door, the driver of the maroon car backs up the vehicle and straightens the wheel as if to make a 3-point turn. Then she starts to slowly accelerate along the street. A third officer, who has been standing on the side of the road, pulls out a gun as the car is turning away. He shoots 3 times. The maroon car does not hit anyone as it rolls up the street. It hits another vehicle and then a utility pole, and the shooter walks away briskly, apparently uninjured, despite the lies that President Trump and Kristi Noem have put forward. Seen in slow motion, which we have been watching, the American people have been watching on television all last night, a video showed the wheels of the maroon vehicle were fully turned away from the shooting officer, who made absolutely no effort to jump away, clearly suggesting that he did not feel as if he were in danger. His first shot went through the windshield, through the front of the windshield. The next two went through the driver's side window as the car moved past him. Video taken by another eyewitness shows ICE agents refusing to allow a self-identified physician to tend to the victim and telling him to back up. And when an ambulance did arrive, ICE agents did not allow the vehicle through, forcing emergency medical responders to walk away through the snow with their equipment. DHS and the White House immediately put out statements that were completely false. The president claimed the officer was recovering from his injuries in the hospital, despite him having no injuries, and we saw him walking back and forth in front of the car. Secretary Noem outrageously claimed without any evidence whatsoever that it was, quote, an act of domestic terrorism. DHS and ICE immediately claimed the woman who was shot and killed by an ICE agent, quote, weaponized her vehicle and attempted to run over law enforcement when the video clearly shows she is trying to drive away. And according to reporting, ICE officers are trained to never approach a vehicle from the front, as this officer did. Instead, they are taught to approach in a, quote, tactical L, 90-degree angle to prevent injury or crossfire. Mr. Chairman, we need an independent investigation into what happened in Minneapolis. This is not the first time this has happened. In only the last 4 months, immigration agents have fired on at least 9 people. And ICE also shot and killed Silverio Villegas Gonzalez in Chicago and suddenly claimed he was violent. Congress needs to step up. This committee needs to step up. And I ask you, Mr. Chairman, to please make sure that we bring Secretary Noem before us. Where is Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons? Where is Attorney General Bondi? This committee is conducting no oversight and is derelict in its duty to the American people.
Time of the gentlelady has expired.
Thank you, and I ask for unanimous consent, Mr. Chairman,
You see request?
to put into the record an article titled, ICE officers trained never to approach a vehicle from the front, DHS official says.
Objection.
From the New York Times, deadly Minneapolis encounter is the 9th ICE shooting since September.
Objection.
I yield back.
Chair, now, the gentlelady yields back. Gentleman from North Carolina is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to respond briefly to this, that number one, I think it's unbelievably irresponsible to throw out words like murder, to reach a conclusion before any further investigation is due. That's inflammatory, it's sensitive, it's unbelievably irresponsible. And, you know, my colleague mentioned that there was a tragedy in Minnesota, and I think that we're missing the tragedy. We have seen a governor, an AG, a mayor, local officials, top to bottom, encouraging citizens to violently protest federal authorities who are seeking to remove people who are here illegally. And specifically, people who are here illegally committing crimes. That's what's so outlandish to me. That's the tragedy here. You have elected officials who are leveraging their political capital to protect those who are here illegally. And of course, whenever anyone loses a life, it is a tragedy, but you cannot avoid the facts of this case. The officers approached the vehicle. They asked the woman to stop. They asked her to get out of the car. She did not comply. She hit the gas pedal. All of those were avoidable. Had she obeyed the instructions of law enforcement, there would have been a very different outcome. So to all who watch, when law enforcement approaches, especially if you're trying to obstruct their mission, obey. Don't hit the gas pedal, get out of the car. Mr. Chairman, I yield back the balance of my time, but again, let me just reiterate, throwing out inflammatory rhetoric before there has been any conclusion drawn is unbelievably irresponsible, and it adds to an already inflamed situation, and I urge my colleagues on the other side of the aisle to stop it.
Gentleman yields. We got to line up but I'll probably go to the ranking member, and then I'll...
The exchange unfolded during debate over a criminal justice bill after a minor amendment was introduced that simply added the current year to the bill's title. But the substance of the legislation was quickly overshadowed by the killing of Renee Nicole Good, a 37-year-old unarmed U.S. citizen who was shot 3 times by an ICE agent in Minneapolis as she drove away from officers on a residential street. Her death left behind a 6-year-old child with no surviving parent, a fact that repeatedly surfaced as lawmakers argued over what responsibility Congress now bears. Jayapal seized the moment to demand immediate oversight. She argued that instead of launching a transparent investigation, the Department of Homeland Security and the White House rushed to shape a narrative that was contradicted by video evidence already circulating nationwide. She accused Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem and former President Donald Trump of spreading false claims, including assertions that the agent was injured, that the shooting constituted domestic terrorism, and that Good had attempted to run over law enforcement. If you are trying to make sense of how these competing claims fit together, be sure to subscribe so you can keep following this story as new evidence emerges. Jayapal walked the committee through what the videos show in detail. Multiple angles captured a maroon SUV stopped on a snowy street, approached by masked officers wearing police markings. The driver received conflicting commands, one officer telling her to exit the vehicle while another attempted to open her door. As the car backed up and turned away in what appeared to be a slow attempt to leave, a third officer standing off to the side drew his weapon and fired 3 shots. If you value thorough, step-by-step explanations like this, subscribe now so you do not miss future reporting. Jayapal framed the issue as part of a disturbing pattern. She cited reporting that this was the 9th ICE shooting in recent months and referenced other fatal encounters where initial claims of violence were later questioned. In her view, the core problem is not rhetoric, but accountability. She demanded an independent investigation and called for Secretary Noem, the acting ICE director, and the Attorney General to testify before Congress, accusing the committee of failing in its oversight duty. That is when Representative Knott pushed back forcefully. Taking the floor, Knott condemned Jayapal's language, saying it was dangerously premature to label the killing as murder before an investigation had concluded. He warned that such rhetoric inflames an already volatile situation and unfairly prejudges the actions of law enforcement officers. In his view, the real tragedy was not just the loss of life, but what he described as elected officials encouraging resistance to federal authorities enforcing immigration law. Knott argued that officers gave lawful commands, that the driver did not comply, and that accelerating the vehicle created a dangerous situation. He insisted that had she followed instructions, the outcome would have been different. His message to viewers was blunt. When approached by law enforcement, comply. Do not flee. Do not resist. Before continuing, remember to subscribe so you can stay informed as this story develops and as investigators weigh evidence rather than political talking points. What made this exchange especially striking was how clearly it illustrated the divide in Congress. On one side, lawmakers demanding immediate oversight, citing video evidence and accusing federal officials of lying to the public. On the other, lawmakers urging restraint, warning against inflammatory conclusions, and emphasizing obedience to law enforcement as the central issue. Beyond the personalities involved, this debate raises fundamental questions that extend far beyond one tragic incident. How much force is justified when a suspect is retreating? How quickly should federal officials speak publicly after a deadly encounter? What role should Congress play when federal agencies investigate themselves? And, perhaps most importantly, how does the government maintain public trust when official statements appear to conflict with what citizens can see with their own eyes?